Compliments of the season and a warm welcome, and thank you for joining us on today's episode. Well, over the past couple of weeks, we have witnessed firsthand the drama in the Red Assembly concerning the 2024 budget and its obvious discrepancies. From different media narratives to interviews granted by members of our National Assembly saying everything but the truth about the 2024 budget and its padding, as alleged by now suspended Senator Abdul Ningi. In a desperation to cover their tracks, members of the 10th Assembly have resorted to various propaganda, including the use of proverbs and laws. Take for instance Senator Ali Ndume when he said all animals are not equal as a justification for the unequal amounts of money some members of the Assembly got. Chief Tinubu himself very recently even said that the people who are making a fuss about the 2024 budget don't understand the arithmetic behind our budget. He also assured members of the National Assembly that their integrity is intact. Our senators have danced around this conversation for so long, but have somehow still managed to evade telling the truth of the 2024 budget and its glaring discrepancies. Well, therefore, it is not out of place to say that there is an unholy silence. Recently, in a very similar fashion, Senator representing Cross River North Senatorial District in the person of Senator Jarigbe, who was a remote guest on the Arise News Channel's breakfast show, pleaded the fifth when one of the anchors took him to the task on the details of the 2024 budget. Apparently, to avoid the fate of his colleague, Senator Abdul Ningi of Bauchi Central, who is currently on suspension from the Red Chamber for his whistleblowing on the 3.7 trillion alleged budget padding. Senator Jarigbe on Sunday abandoned the live TV interview midway over the subject of the 2024 budget in order to, according to him, avoid facing wahala. Well, let's just take a listen to what transpired at this interview and we'll come back and have a conversation.
I do find it so fascinating that a senator would say that the budget was not scrutinized by himself line by line when I myself have scrutinized the budget line by line. But what can I say there? I think now let's move on to the issue of the CNG initiatives coming out of the federal government.
You scrutinized the budget line by line?
Yes, sir.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the budget of your senatorial district where you come from?
Sorry, sir?
What's the total budgetary provision for your senatorial district where you come from?
You're asking me for the arithmetic of my senatorial district. I scrutinize it by ministry. So if you want, I can tell you your budget in different ministries if you wish to. I have quoted your own budget to you today. Okay. Yes. But let's move on to the CNG initiative if you're willing to. I was not elected by the people of Cross River North. You were. It is your duty, I believe, not mine. But let's move on to your duty as the chairman of the Committee on Gas. Do you want to do that? Let's talk about the CNG initiative by the federal government. Is it coming?
What's this budget talk now? I want to talk about my Thanksgiving and my representation to my people. People are doing budget. I'll walk away.
Well, I think we're going to go on a quick...
say something that I will go and face wahala. We should allow me. Let me serve my people quietly.
Senator, you have spoken about your Thanksgiving, and Adesua is asking you about...
is leaving me, I go do my work.
Are you with us, sir, Senator Jarigbe? Because you're still live on air. It looks like we lost Senator Jarigbe. It appears OG and Adesua that is not too comfortable with defending that core aspect of his job.
Root out because he doesn't want wahala, in his own words. Well, we've seen what transpired in the studio during the interview. He was asked concerning the budget, and he was actually very vocal during the suspension of Senator Abdul Ningi when he said certain senators got 500 million. He was the person who told us about that, and it's just very interesting to see that someone who was that vocal in the plenary that day actually has cowered, and actually he's now speaking on terms of, you know what, I don't want problems, let me serve my people quietly and go. Well, it's just very interesting to see, because from the looks of it, he is avoiding the fate of Senator Ningi, because now we are in Nigeria, a country where the people who speak up are going to be villainized, and we already know that he's trying to avoid being suspended. It's just very sad to see, but kudos to the people at Arise TV for actually, you know, bringing it up, because it is important that Nigerians know the truth and nothing but the truth concerning the situation involving the pardon. Well, speaking of the alleged budget pardon, well, Senator Abdul Ningi, representing Bauchi Central, recently had actually threatened to hit back with legal sanctions and take the legal route concerning his suspension from the Red Assembly. Suspended Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi, representing Bauchi Central of Bauchi State in the Senate, has written the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and the Senate leadership, demanding that the suspension placed on him be lifted. Senator Abdul Ningi wrote Senator Godswill Akpabio through his lawyer Femi Falana, noting that if his suspension was not lifted in the next 7 days, he would drag the Senate before the Federal High Court. We recall that the Senate on March 12 had sent Senator Ahmed Abdul Ningi on a 3-month suspension over his claim that the 2024 budget was padded to the tune of 3.7 trillion naira. Well, we know this because he had actually, through his lawyer, contended that the process through which his suspension came was a faulty one, and through this letter to the Senate, which was received at the Senate's President's office on Wednesday, Femi Falana actually stated in the letter, the Senate President had acted as the accuser, the prosecutor, and all the same the judge in the case, saying that this was also in utter violation of the provisions of Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution. Well, very interesting indeed, because truly he had acted as the accuser, the prosecutor, and also the judge, which is unbecoming, because I mean, if you accuse somebody, you're meant to take them to court. And by also doing this, the lawyer had actually admitted, or actually claimed, that he is resisting the right of the Bauchi Central people to a proper representation in the House of the Senate for 3 months. Well, Comrade Aisha Yusufu actually had a lot to say about this, and also have a lot to say about reports that's coming from the fact that he has threatened legal actions, that the Senate are planning to review this decision to suspend him for 3 months. Well, let's take a listen to our very own Comrade Aisha Yusufu and take her thoughts on the matter.
You know, as what do you call it now, as senators and you know, people who are just presiding over our affairs, it's just like a joke, you understand, like some sort of joke to them that really doesn't matter, just a place where they go to go and while away the time. Anyway, sir, for some governors, it's their retirement home where they just go and sit down and just you know, just go there and just while away the hours. They don't care. They don't care. On this Senator Ningi issue, there's a report here that just in day after Ningi threatens legal action, Akpabio says Senate will lift suspension soon. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has announced plans for the Red Chamber to revoke the suspension imposed on Senator Abdul Ningi, PDP Bauchi Central. This development transpired just 24 hours after Senator Ningi penned a letter to Akpabio indicating his intention to pursue legal action if his suspension remained unresolved within a 7-day time frame. Senator Ningi's suspension stemmed from remarks made during a BBC Hausa interview wherein he alleged that the 2024 fiscal year budget had been inflated by 3.7 trillion. Following intense deliberations among senators during a plenary session, Ningi was suspended for 3 months and instructed to issue a formal apology to the Senate. In a letter written by his counsel, Femi Falana son, Ningi accused Akpabio of being the accuser, the prosecutor, and the judge in the case which he said is in utter violation of the provisions of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. In the letter titled Request to Lift the Suspension of Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi, dated Wednesday, March 27, 2024, Senator Ningi threatened to seek legal redress. The senator accused Akpabio of causing him to be put on trial before the Senate on March 14, 2024, contrary to the provisions of the Legislative House Powers and Privileges Act 2018. But answering questions from newsmen on Friday on arrival from the Parliamentary Union IPU meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, Akpabio said the Senate will soon review the 3-month suspension. He said, it's a parliamentary decision. I have not seen the letter yet, but Senator Ningi is one of us. I mean, what is a suspension? I believe that in a few days he will join us, so there's no problem. It will be resolved amicably. The Senate is a family. Just listen to him where he was actually saying this, and you just shake your head for Nigeria.
That the suspension of Senator Abdul Ningi be lifted within 7 days or drag the Senate to court. Akpabio says the matter will be sorted.
I haven't seen the letter yet. Well, Senator Ningi is one of us, so I mean, what is suspension? We expect that in a few days he will join us, so it's not a problem.
Thank you very much.
It will be resolved amicably.
Thank you.
The Senate is a family.
Honestly, there's so much clownery going on, and you look at the fact that this is a country where a lot of things aren't working very well. You could say the country it's in a big trouble, in a big mess. Yet these people who are supposed to be in offices concerned about how to move Nigeria forward, they're just a bunch of jokers. They just see it as a joke. They just do this thing anyhow. Why did they let them stay now? Well, because we want to see. They have absolute proof that indeed they padded those budgets to the tune of trillions. They padded the budget anyhow they went to. Budget, an organization that is always working with budget and breaking it down, they went through the line items one after the other, and they were able to see all of these things. And so I did some video where I talked about the fact that the Akpabio himself is the one that should be impeached, but what you have rather is the Ningi that has been put on suspension, because Nigeria, of course, is always that country where it is the people who are doing the wrong thing that always seem to have, you know, the muzzle and the power and the audacity and the enabling environment for them to continue to behave badly, whereas the people who are doing the right thing are the ones who are being punished. And that just even reminds me about, you know, the investigator who had done investigative journalism on the custom to show how much corruption there was in the custom, how smuggling was allowed, smuggling of arms, you know, agricultural produce and all of that being brought into the country, and even drugs, putting the country at risk. That particular journalist right now is the one that police have put him on the wanted list. He's now wanted by police. Meanwhile, the criminals that he unearthed, that he has shown what they are doing, they are the ones that are free. So Nigeria is always that country where you actually get punished for doing the right thing. It is you that is put on trial, and definitely not the people who are actually doing those wrong things over there. It's been crazy in Abuja. Honestly, it's been something else. The heat in Abuja is something else. Like I did a tweet the other day, I don't know how a lot of families without electricity and all of that are coping. The ACs are off. I just don't want to put on the fan because of the noise that it sometimes it might interfere with this bed. Honestly, it's just crazy what's going on. We live in a country where at every time the national grid is collapsing, we're thrown into darkness. You know, we've just become the butt of joke of in Africa, and yet we just have a bunch of people who are supposed to be leading this country just behaving anyhow and just doing things the way that they want to do without any regard, you know, for the citizens, without fear of the citizens that they are supposed to be leading. Oh, Lord have mercy. It can be so frustrating, honestly. Being a Nigerian can be such a frustration. But the thing, like I always say to every one of us, is the fact that we don't have option. Giving up can never be an option. We continue to be here. We continue to do the rightful. We continue to do the needful. We continue to participate. We continue to work towards getting us that nation that belongs to all of us, that we all will be working towards, and we must ensure that we definitely do get this. So let them continue what they're doing. Let them continue to do all of these things that they do, one day it will no longer be business as usual. It will become business unusual. And as we look at it, we might be looking at it as if it's too far away. It's far away, or something that is impossible, that can never happen. But I always take solace in the words of Nelson Mandela, where he said that it's impossible until it's done. The moment it's done, it's no longer impossible. So we just keep going, we just keep trying until we get that thing done. And I can assure you that indeed we will get it done. It's about never giving up. It's about doing what we need to do. It's about ensuring that we're consistent in doing the right thing for Nigeria. Thank you.
From consumption to production, it is what he mentioned that Air Peace has commenced international flights outside Nigeria. On Saturday, they had begun these flights with their inaugural flights from Lagos to London, and they actually made it really easy for Nigerians because their economy tickets is going for as low as 1.2 million, and their business class actually starts from 4 million naira. And this commencement of this service is coming a month after they had announced plans to begin direct flight operations to London on March 30th during a pre-launch forum organized by the airline in February. And this is actually a very worthy news, but it is interesting to note that this has actually sparked reactions on X, right, saying that the cabin crew, it was necessary to mention that the cabin crew actually traveled, and it was necessary to the owner and the chief of Air Peace to actually make sure that the cabin crew actually flew in attires that were supposedly related to Igbo people, in the sense that their cabin crew actually flew wearing the Isiagu Igbo traditional attire, and some people had a lot to say about it, some bigots, to be very honest. And it's just very sad to see, because we should be celebrating the fact that the Nigerian aerospace or Nigerian aviation is going global. I mean, right now we can actually talk about hosting flights from Lagos to other countries, international flights, and it's something that is very commendable. His Excellency P2B had even commended this man and actually said it was a good thing that he had been able to expand his business from taking just local flights to international flights. And so in a moment that is very crucial to national unity and a moment of pride for all Nigerians, some bigots and some Agbadoans have actually decided to make it about tribe. Well, this is coming from distinguished KMG, who actually said Air Peace entered the UK market with a competitive price, and Virgin Atlantic and BA slashed their flight price tickets immediately. Again, this is business. Monopoly is expensive and open market is cheap. Keep closing borders, you will learn lessons. Well, this is actually very interesting because over the week we saw a drastic reduction in the prices of flights from Lagos to London. Virgin Atlantic actually reduced their prices from over £1,000 to fly economy to as low as 800 and something pounds. And so we see that this has actually influence the markets positively, and people can now access cheaper flights. But it's just sad to see that some people have decided to toe the line of ethnic bigotry and ethnic tribalism, because it's now about what they decided to wear on their inaugural flight and not about the fact that a major feat was actually achieved in the country's aviation sector. Well, our very own comrade Aisha Yusuf actually had a lot to say about this, and she actually condemned those people who made it about tribe and not about the collective efforts of a Nigerian-owned establishment to actually go international and actually increase our GDP, right? But to come your way next time, it is actually my honor to bring to you about Obidient Family Cooperative. I would not leave the studio without mentioning that to you. We all know that His Excellency has always hammered on from consumption to production, and it is necessary to note that Obidient Family Cooperative is here to stay. So follow the link that is on the description of this video currently, and actually join the WhatsApp platform where you can have updates, direct updates from fellow Obidient on how the cooperative is going, and the fact that we have been registered in Anambra, and we're still taking moves to make sure we're registered in all the over 700 local governments in Nigeria. So join the group, converse with fellow Obedients, and make your voice heard, make your contributions, and make yourself count as we plan to redefine our options in 2027. Well, till we come your way next time, bye for now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video.
Have a lot of evil people who just don't want progress, bigots that, you know, their minds, I don't know how they live with themselves. I don't know how people live with such hatred in their heart, hatred for fellow citizens just because you don't share the same tribe, or you don't share the same language, or you don't share the same religion with them, and then there's this hate. I just wonder, how are those people able to live with themselves, able to really, I mean, those are people who will go through life being extremely bitter, because I don't know why it's a problem to any of these people that the earpiece they decided, the crew decided to wear, is it Isiagu they call it, this Igbo attire kind of this one. That has been the problem. Oh, some have come out, are there no other tribe that were Nigeria? So are there no other tribe to do airline? Why have you left? Do your own airline. When you do your own airline, when it goes international, wear your own native cloth and carry it on. We will showcase all of them. Must we be limited to whatever it is that you want to check? If there are other, fine. There are other tribes, yes. Do the work, put in the work. That's simple as, you can't be hating on somebody who is putting in the work when you are not putting the work. It's not possible. That's witchcraft. That's evilness. You sit down, you are not putting in the work, you're not doing anything. Somebody is putting the work. He didn't take anything from you. He didn't stop you from putting the work. He didn't block the way you do. You are the one that decided not to put in the work the way he or she has put in the work. And then you are just hating on the person. To the extent, if you see there was one tweet I saw. It was so vile. I was like, oh my goodness. One of the things, I didn't respond to the tweet because, okay, I thought I had I didn't I didn't munch it. I'm sure it was so vile in that way that I just ended up, because normally I would just munch it. He was literally cursing that the airpiece, this thing, may it have an accident, may it burn. Hey, honestly, you know, when our people is saying return to sender, let me even do it. It will be on his head that thing will go to. How are you so evil in your mind? How are you so evil? I mean, that airpiece, you know, airpiece did it, made it. Sorry for those who probably are not Nigerians who don't understand the airpiece did its maiden flight from Lagos to London, Gatwick Airport, and it's, you know, Nigerians have been so happy about it. It's beautiful. We now have a direct flight, and I'm already hearing that even the other airlines, they've opened up their cheaper tickets that they've blocked in Nigeria, although they said that it's because of the fact that they've paid them some of the monies and whatever. But then ticket prices are coming down, which is a good thing for us. We now have a direct flight. You can go to Lagos and fly direct, you know, to London and do that. And for me, let's have more. May God give airpeace, you know, the strength to grow more and more. May they have more success stories, because if that is our national carrier, I'm good. If I can fly from Nigeria to London, Nigeria, direct flight to London, direct flight to US, direct flight to anywhere in the world, it's good for me. That's how national carriers are. It mustn't be that government must be the one to own it. So this is something, it's providing job, and so when the person, and I'm not going to mention tribe because I just don't want this whole thing to be, you know, the tribe of the person who had made that evil wish, because somebody will now go on and brought the organogram of airpeace on that particular page. That person's tribe had more than 70-80% of the staff there from the COO to the whatever, they are all from that tribe. There's his evilness, evil mindset. You see that thing, Epis learned that thing. Epis did it. Epic, beautiful. You know, when they talk about advert and branding, whoever did that whole thing, fantastic. There was this part where the Allen Onyema, although you know, say the other day was just yarning nonsense. Yeah, that's what some people were telling him. You should just focus on his earpiece. The business where persons have been made, they focus on, and where they may leave governance issue where you know how the genesis and whatever they support Cardoso or what, may just focus on his business. You know, there was this thing that they did, and then Allen Onyema was like, he was in front, he was walking, and then the crew. Oh, as I see that thing, I'm proud. Oh, I'm proud. I made something come up for Nigeria. We're going to make us proud. It was so beautiful. And even he was walking this majestically. And then the crew were all coming. They were all smiling. Then you shall just take a look at the thing. Even you, Steph, you know, proud. I was just trying to, you know, proud. Just see them just walking majestically. Oh my goodness, it was just such a beautiful sight. Honestly, I love that. The branding, the showing. And then this thing, it is this thing that they wore. That is it, it's how good they call it, the Igbo attire that they use, which was brilliant, amazing. That's what some people have been attacking, you know. Anyway, instead of attacking it, why don't you do your own? Put your airline there now and wear your own attire. We will praise it. Anyone, the more the better. Let's have different Nigerian airlines flying to London, flying to every country in the world, so that I don't have to go to another person's country and go and stay at the airport for 3 hours. The other day I was flying to what's the name of Tbilisi. I was flying to Tbilisi. I had to stay at Doha airport for 9 hours. If there's a direct this thing, whatever airline is carrying, it's my benefit now. That's what is making that they wore their Igbo attire. And then there was something that some people said. He said, oh, they just want every 4 years. When these politicians will wear those attires and go to the southeast and be looking for votes, it's okay. That's the one that is okay. But a private person in his own business, using his own business to showcase his culture and wearing it on the crew, is what some people have problem with. You see that problem where you get, you will wrap that problem. You will put am for chest. You will take wrapper around that. It will stay there. Kakaraka. Since you, as you know, one get head, evil, na dey your mind. Where be say you they get now just kind thing. Now they worry you something way suppose we give everybody joy. Where people they happy for, but because your own mind na evilness. You go carry her like that. They carry her go. You go they look for who go help you drop her. You know go see.